Okay, part 5. I've refilled my drink. Drinking that now. Mm. I wish it was booze. Uh, I'm not really sure how to wrap things up. This went longer and more in depth than I thought it would. And as I'm sure you've noticed, it's not that funny. It's mostly just me complaining. But that's not funny. So I hope Chibi brings the funny, where I couldn't. I hope funny will be back for chapter 4. I have two of the most massive tantrums I've ever had on this series. Uh, I figure I may as well round this out by mentioning Charlie. Charlie is off and on in the books. He can have some awesome in the books, but for the most part, he's kind of an character. And when you hit Eclipse, you hate him, as I'm sure everyone knows about that. But you know, it's hard looking at Book Charlie when I see what they did to him in the movies. They made Charlie the best. They did. I love movie Charlie. He is just brilliant. But here in this scene in New Moon, it's actually a bit better. He actually does demand to know, did Edward leave you out in the woods? Why didn't he tell you where he was going? You didn't know how I knew how to find you because there's a note here, and you didn't remember you left this for me? And that's like the tiny glimmer of good in this chapter, is watching Charlie act like even the slightest bit like a genuine cop. What the hell happened? Knowing that Edward did this to you. Knowing that he just hurt her badly, and wondering just what he did to her out in those woods. And it has a good potential, but of course it's just gone in an instant. Yeah. And of course, also in this scene, Bella's good enough to remind me of that dream from the first of this book. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah. That just made my day. Oh, God, I hate that dream. I think out of all the dreams Bella's had, or will have, that one is the one I hate the most. I'm the Grinch now. But yeah, I figured I would round out by just mentioning how Charlie actually is pretty good in this scene. She wrote him pretty well, and of course we're supposed to think, oh, he just doesn't understand. But no, I'm siding with him. And I'm sure anyone with any amount of logic was siding with him too, and wanting him, like, don't stop, follow her up to her room, don't let her go, demand to know what's happening. But instead she runs upstairs and finds out that Edward stole all her stuff. And yeah, one final moment of being a complete a-hat, he steals her, he ransacks her room. And it's like, wow, does Meyer not realize that she just wrote the quintessential boyfriend breaks up with his girlfriend, complete with stealing her stuff? I mean, how many, even, I think they're just Lifetime specials. The woman comes home from work and the TV's gone because her ex-boyfriend moved out. I mean, come on. You even included that bit. She doesn't get it. Doesn't get it at all. So, yeah, I think I'll just sum this up. This chapter is so bad. There is no possible way I could sum up my thoughts in a funny way or a concise way, as evidenced by the fact that I'm pushing an hour with this thing. And the main reason I did the audio thing was because I couldn't get my thoughts on paper. I actually was trying to write up a post to explain that I'm not doing the rest of the chapter, and here's the reason why, and nothing was coming. I just needed to ramble, because this is, free verse. And so I hope that vaguely explains it. I couldn't bring the funny at all, but I did have some things I needed to say about it. So I'm not stepping on you or anything, Chibi, okay? I'm not saying you need to bring this up. This is just my issues with it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there may be other chapters where I feel I have to sum it up in a voice post instead. I've got most of these things recapped. For those of you who know about my personal LJ, the first run recaps are all over there. if I was starting at New Moon Chapter 9 is when sorry, backtrack. I originally did the Twilight and the first 8 chapters of New Moon as just notes. I just did a bunch of dashes and a bullet list, basically, of my thoughts on what's going on. But I realized that wasn't working because it wasn't thorough. You know, when I like or hate something, I analyze the hell out of it. And because, that's the worst way you can kill an argument against someone who likes this stuff, is not knowing what you're talking about. So I know a lot of people who say, which makes me laugh, about the Twi fans who would tell me that I have no life for knowing so much about this series I hate. When, like, well, so what does that mean about you? Because you claim to know more than me about it. So, yeah, that's a straw man. So, up until chapter 8, like I said, I was of New Moon, I was just doing notes, and then I switched over to the recap format. And if I was going to post this on DOS Working, I wanted things to be even. I wanted things to be equal. So I took those as all first runs, and I gotten some really good comments on those, good feedback, so I can make this as thorough as possible and take in all opinions, all that. So if you would want to comment on those and mention stuff that I missed, go right ahead. But so yeah, hopefully I won't have to change any of the ones that I've already recapped like this, because I would hate to have to throw out all that. But, if you have to, you have to. So hopefully, if I ever do another voice post, it'll just be from chapters 4 to 8 of New Moon. And I haven't done Breaking Dawn yet, so maybe I might do a couple with those. I don't know. There are some chapters in Breaking Dawn that are so damn pointless. But, for the most part, Breaking Dawn is technically my air quote favorite, because simply for chapter 18. There are no words for this. No, I can think of a few. Yeah, you all know what I'm talking about. I can't wait to get to that. I can't wait for the movie, I'll tell you that much. And yes, I've heard about the PG-13 thing, but I've heard conflicting reports about that. I heard the writers and directors saying that, they're promising, like, at least 2 sex scenes and pillows being bitten, and up close and personal gore unflinching, but then I hear the producers saying it's PG-13. Someone's lying. So I'm staying out of this until I actually see a rating. I'm not listening to any rumors. Until I see rated R or rated PG-13 will I know if they're denying me or giving me crack. They better not deny me. So, I just wandered off on a tangent again, I'm sorry. So I've summed up what my thoughts on chapter 3 and summed up why I couldn't do it. I hope that this gives you some insight on why New Moon makes me so mad, because I'm gonna get mad a lot. So, yeah, that's just basically all I wanted to do. I wanted to be upfront with you guys, my little small collection of readers. So, thanks all around. Thanks to HCB Chibi for taking this on for me. I wish you good luck, Godspeed, you kill it, and just remember, if you can't, there are a whole bunch of reserve people who signed up. And to all you guys who did sign up for Sporking, I might pawn off a few things on you, or just ask for your thoughts on something, or a group Sporking maybe, I don't know. Thanks to everyone who reads, and comments. I know I don't comment back sometimes, but sometimes I just, I'm getting more comments these days, so sometimes I just don't answer. I try when someone asks a question to answer, but I'm sorry if I don't. Sometimes I have a bad memory, so I'm sorry if I ever missed you or anything like that. Yeah, just thanks for reading, thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, I commend you. And hopefully chapter 3 will be finished when Chibi finishes. And in the meantime, I'll just keep updating with what I've got, and thank you all for reading. Thanks you all for putting up for me. Hope I made things clear.